Hello, my friends. My name is Amanda with Manda Panda Projects, and I have a super cute 3D layered, kind of like a pop-up heart for you. I just think this is the absolute prettiest little craft, you guys. It's so easy to make, and it uses super basic supplies. You just need some sort of surface and then a whole bunch of variety of scrapbook paper that coordinates together and some coffee filters, okay? So I took this Dollar Tree. It was like a fall pumpkin wood background. It's like a little shelf sitter. And then I just painted the entire thing with white chalk paint. I had to do 2 coats to cover up that front. I was originally going to put it on the inside of this little shelf sitter, but then I was like, no, let me put it on the front of it. So then it's like, truly a little pop-up shelf sitter. So after I painted that all white, I went ahead and took my antique wax, my Waverly antique wax, and I just used a spouncer, and I went all along the edges, and I concentrated super heavily on the corners, making the corners a lot darker. I went along the sides and around the entire thing, just to give this a little bit of a grunged up look. I love my Waverly, but I do like Kiehl's dark wax. They were out of it, so I ordered Waverly, and it's just not the same anymore. Waverly used to be a darker color, and now it's more of a chocolatey brown, and I'm just not loving it as much. So I'm waiting for this to run out, and then I'm gonna go back to my Kiehl's. Make sure that you are following the page, Manda Panda Projects, so that you see all the cute little videos I post. Make sure that you sprinkle this video, and let me know in the comments what you guys think of this. Okay, so I took some scrapbook paper. This one that you see here is from my printable scrapbook paper pack. The rest of them are from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, random places. And I chose, I think, 8 of them. And then I made templates online of the hearts. So I just took a heart and then I sized it down little. I made 8 different hearts from big to small. And I just traced them all onto the scrapbook paper. I used kind of a florals. I used the reddish, salmonish type of color, a little bit of a greenish, some light pink. And I think they all worked really, really well together. So after I traced them all out, I used my pinking shears and then I cut each one of them out. I kept them in order so I didn't have to mess with them. So I traced them from largest down to smallest, and then I cut them out the opposite, the smallest up to the largest. You could use regular scissors for this, because what you're gonna see I do next is put diamond dust on the edges. So you can still tell the pinking shears are there, but you could get away with using regular scissors as well. The shears just gives it some extra detail. Okay, so once those were all cut out, I just took them all. My very first one, which is that polka dot one you see, I did not fold that one because that one's gonna go flat against the shelf sitter board. But the rest of them, I took them and I folded them all in half. So I went right down the middle, folded them in half, and then layered them kind of on top of each other, because that's how they're gonna sit once we glue them together, so that they kind of pop out. Just fold them all up one by one. This one is double-sided, but I ended up using the light pink side. Okay, so then I took some coffee filters. Now, I coffee stained these first. I just dipped them in some instant coffee, threw them in the oven on 200 for 5 minutes, and then I had some coffee-stained coffee filters. And then I just accordion folded them. I cut them in half. As you can see, it's a half of a filter here. And then I accordion folded them. I did it in chunks because if I did it all together, I wouldn't be able to go all the way around the heart with it. So I did it in little 2-3 inch pieces. And then I kind of pieced them together and put them behind the heart so they come out and give it a little ruffled coffee filter border, I guess. It just needed a little something. I just like the way that this looked. Haven't used coffee filters in a long time in any of my crafts, so I thought I was overdue. So once I had those figured out and had them arranged so that I knew that they would look decent, I just hot glued them to the back. Did one by one. I kind of lined them up. Some of the edges were a little bit wonky. As you can see here, it's kind of sticking out. But all I did was just took my scissors and then I just trimmed it up, and it ended up looking perfect. Get that last piece there. So it took a little finagling. And as I went, I had to fold, I was like, oh, this part needs a little one. So I'd fold a little piece. I just kept folding little pieces of it until I had the whole entire thing outlined with the coffee filters. Alrighty, so now time to put this all together. Glued it to my shelf sitter, and I wasn't sure I wanted to do this. So I was like, let me just do one. And then I did one and I really liked it. So I just took some Mod Podge and I very lightly, I didn't want it to be too heavy. I didn't want it to be like a really thick coat. I very lightly Mod Podge the outer edge of all 8 of the hearts. And then I dunked it in my diamond dust so that it just had like a very light dusting around the edge of the heart. And this just gave this craft life. I'm so happy that I decided to do this. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So I did all those very lightly, little by little. I know I don't show the whole thing because I'm just doing the same thing over and over again, you guys. So you get the point after seeing me do just a couple of them. All right, so I had a lot of diamond dust. Once I got them all together, I was like, okay, there's a lot of diamond dust going on. So I had to tap off as much as I could. And then I just folded them in half and right down that half edge, put a strip of hot glue and then glued it right dead center to the other heart. And then one by one. So I just hot glue. The first one was old hymnal. So the paper is like really, really, really thin. So it didn't really have the support, but the rest of them are scrapbook paper. So they held up pretty nicely. So I just one by one lined them up, trying not to cut myself with the diamond dust because that diamond dust is real glass. You gotta be careful with that, especially if you have pets. I try not to get out my floor because I'm always afraid Mellow's gonna step on it. And then the last one here, fill that in. And so cute. And you could be done right now. You could be done. It looks adorable, right? It looks adorable. But I was like, I felt like it needed something in each of the 4 corners. So I found these like kind of like a rose gold type of pearl. So I just stuck those in each of the 4 corners. And then I wanted to put something in the center of the heart. So I had these buttons. You can't really tell from here, but it's really pretty. It's like a clock with like a rose in the center. And it's like a very vintagey. And I just stuck that right in the center. And that is it. I wish that you could see the patterns of the heart, of all the hearts a little bit more. If I were to do this again, you guys, I would make more of a difference between the small and large hearts. Like I would make them a lot smaller instead of a little smaller. Then you could see all the different scrapbook paper more. But all in all, I love this. Definitely sprinkle this one out there. You guys share it with a friend. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. And are you gonna make something like this? It's super easy and super fun. Thanks for watching.